Prosecutors says it's going to charge the 8 suspects alleged to have hijacked the Arctic Sea cargo ship with piracy. The vessel itself has been seized as part of the investigation. The 15 Russian crewmen on board the vessel were rescued by the Russian Navy, along with 8 alleged hijackers. They were picked up off the Cape Verde Islands in the Atlantic, thousands of miles from their original destination. 11 members of the crew have flown to Moscow, along with the suspected hijackers last week. Well, joining me now is Sean Thomas. He's been following the story for us. Sean, good day to you again. What do we know about the charges being brought against these alleged hijackers, then?
Well, Kevin, it's very interesting. Officials announced today that, as you're aware and just mentioned, that 8 of the suspected hijackers have been arrested and brought here to Moscow, as well as the ship itself. Now, this is something that had to happen as part of the routine investigation. In order for Russia to take control of the investigation and bring charges, they had to actually detain the ship itself. Now, Vladimir Markin is a spokesperson for the Federal Prosecutors Investigation Committee, and today he announced that the suspected hijackers, all 8 of them, will be brought up on criminal charges for their alleged role in the seizure of the cargo vessel, the Arctic Sea. Here's what he had to say about those charges.
We're going to charge the 8 men we suspect of premeditated kidnapping and piracy as soon as possible. The detectives are also going to find out what cargo was on board the Arctic Sea to clarify all the details of this crime. That's why we officially asked to arrest the vessel. It can be examined only after it's arrested.
Now, it's interesting that the ship itself has been detained as part of this investigation so that criminal charges could be brought up on these suspected hijackers. And, of course, they're right now being held in Moscow until those charges can be filed.
And Sean, what about the rest of the crew? What do we know about them? Where are they?
Well, again, it's an interesting story. We had heard, allegations from family members that they weren't able to hear from the crew, but officials came out and spoke to that as well today. They said that the crew's rights are not being violated. In fact, they are being held in a hotel here in Moscow, but that location is undisclosed at this moment in time. But they're being held under good conditions, according to officials, and that when they arrived, they were given food and they were given new clothing, as their old clothing is still on board the ship, and that they're also able to communicate with their family at will. And they mentioned that the crew is free, but they are being held for their own protection, and that according to officials from the Russian Federation government. Now, again, officials have also announced that they have no information as to any banned cargo on board the Arctic Sea at this time. However, the investigation is continuing. But right now they're saying that there's no information to banned cargo. Now, the 11 of the 15 crew that are here in Moscow, they're in a hotel. The other 4 are on board the ship. We spoke to an expert earlier who said that that's just routine to help the ship get to where it needs to be. But the latest is that they are doing fine.
OK, there's Sean Thomas reporting from central Moscow, bringing us up to date there. Much appreciated, Sean. Thank you.